There wasn't enough for his sister's dowries, modern girls who had ideas about marrying for love. There wasn't enough to keep his mother, the Duchess, in the style to which she was accustomed. It did not help that his mother's style was best described as wildly extravagant and always au courant. Lord save him from dressmakers and their bills. Lord save him from women with intentions to be leaders of fashion. What about torching the lot of it and collecting insurance money? Besides the fact that it is dishonorable and illegal. Freddie, the house is made of stone that has survived actual wars. I doubt your attempts at arson will be its undoing. Have I mentioned that I am so glad to have been born a second son and thus never to have to make such decisions? I think we're all glad of that fact. There is one glaringly obvious solution to your problem. Of course, something countless generations of men such as myself have done when in dire straits. Kingston took a bracing sip of whiskey before he said the words aloud. It was one thing to think them, privately in the confines of one's study when reviewing the tragic account books. It was another to admit it aloud. You'll have to follow my example for once. You'll have to marry an heiress, Freddie said, as I have done. A marriage of convenience. The stuff love stories are made of. Be still, my beating heart. Being grossly unsuited for the clergy, army, or any employment, and one who has recently become wed to an heiress myself, I can well advise you on this plan, Freddie said. There is only one obstacle. All the other peers, and their daughters, are as broke as you. I'm sure someone is still doing well, Kingston said. Huntley invested in the railroads. We'd all mocked him then, my father especially, but who is laughing now? Huntley is all the way to the Bank of England. He doesn't have any daughters, though, Freddie said. The problem is that heiresses are not exactly thick on the ground in England these days. And the ones that are here know that blokes just want their money. Makes things dashed hard for a mere second son. That's why I had to travel abroad to find my heiress. Good thing I'm a duke. Will trade ancient and prestigious title for cold, hard cash. A love story for the ages. Aye, you just have to walk in and announce yourself, don't you? Well, as long as you're not keen to wed someone who will want to cozy up to that drafty old house, that plan should work out fine for you. Because let me tell you about the girls who are out this season who come with money. Freddie told him about the girls who were out this season who came with money. He listed their names, described their personalities, appearances, etc. The list was not long. The options were not appealing, which posed the question, how much of himself was he willing to sacrifice to preserve his way of life and protect the women in his family from any hardship? He'd always been the responsible one. He'd been born knowing the right thing, the noble thing to do, and he'd been born with the fortitude to do it. If you really want to wed a wealthy bride, there's only one way to go about it. Freddie downed the last of his drink, leaned forward dramatically, and said, You will have to go to America. Chapter 1. Manhattan's dollar princesses ought to pinch their cheeks and don their finest. The Duke of Kingston is en route to New York City in search of his future Duchess. The New York World. New York City, 1895. The Fifth Avenue Hotel. A chance encounter with the Duke was only the second most interesting thing to happen to Miss Adeline Black that afternoon. But that was life in New York City for you. One never knew whom one might meet, what good fortune or disaster might befall you, or when you will crash into the town's most eligible bachelor in the lobby of the Fifth Avenue Hotel. Tuesday, that's when. Tuesday, precisely 7 minutes before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This meant that she had precisely 7 minutes to make her way through the vast hall of the Fifth Avenue Hotel on her way to the suite of rooms of Miss Harriet Burnett. Adeline didn't know her from Adam, but she knew an opportunity to change her life and make her dreams come true when it requested a 2 o'clock appointment. She could not be late. But this lobby was an absolute crush. The great hall was full of everything a hotel guest could want, from tickets